I do want to get you guys to talk about today's game and the subject that's really dominated the last 3 or 4 days in the NBA. The subject of rest obviously was not something that was discussed when y'all were playing.
Rest. What's that?
Well, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, he has stepped back in here. He issued a memo yesterday to all 30 NBA teams. This came, of course, after Cleveland rested its star players on Saturday against the Clippers. Now, some of them had legitimate injury reasons to be out of that game, but the fact that they were all out together made headlines. You had the Warriors resting a bunch of guys the earlier week. And Silver basically said, this could be damaging to our business. He said team owners have to be directly involved, give them adequate notice. Greg Popovich, who sort of created this practice, he weighed in. He said, we've got to try to figure this out. He said, we want to do the best job we can. It's entertainment. We're all purists in the sense that we love basketball and it's what we do, but we know how the salaries are paid. We'll get together. He said a lot better than the Republicans and Democrats. We will even say things that are nonsensical, ridiculous, and delusional. So, you know, there you go. Greg Popo has given his Popovich spin on things. And look, there is science that is different from when you guys played. There has been showing that if you play a back-to-back game on the road the second night, you are more likely to get injured. That is a scientific fact. So they are trying to lengthen and preserve these guys' careers. But you guys did play all of those games. We look at the past MVPs. They averaged 80 games we were talking about on the show yesterday. I mean, where is the line here? How would you guys solve this problem?
I don't think you can solve it because the nature of the game is you get tired, and that's attrition. And attrition affects the team over the season, and it affects all the teams. And that has to be factored into what happens in the playoff season. So everybody has to go through that. You know, you can't let some guys slide.
So you think it's a necessary part of playing NBA basketball?
Oh, yeah. You have to win as many games as you can. That's how it's supposed to be played. And, you know, if you don't do that, I think you're cheating the fans. And I don't think that's the way to go about it.
I'm just old school. I just don't understand. You know, like you said, back in the day, we didn't ever take days off. We never had rest and all that stuff. Pat Riley might have rested Cap and Magic with 2 games left in the season.
Right.
You know, everything was sold up and we got ready for the playoffs. But that was it. Now this, you know, and I understand the scientifics of this sport and all that stuff, but still, you get paid to play the game. You get paid to play the game. Michael Jordan played 14 years in the NBA. 9 seasons out of those 14, he played 82 games. So I just don't understand it. I just feel that, you know, that's a way out. And again, with our networks, ESPN, ABC, TNT, who pay all this money.
$24 billion.
That's right. To see these guys play, you know, you got to play. And like I said the other day, if you're going to take games off, make them at home.
Right.
And don't make them a national televised game.
Right.
You know, because again, when an East Coast team like Cleveland comes to the West Coast, those fans get one shot of seeing these guys in person.
All right.
And that team misses or those guys don't play, I would be upset if I was a fan.
I mean, look, Byron, you heard me on this show yesterday. I think this is a problem the NBA has to deal with. They are devaluing their own product. So that is my baseline here. That being said, I'm going to stick up for today's guys a little bit and say Michael Jordan took a couple years off to play baseball. So, like, every time anyone throws up Michael Jordan played all these games, he did have a break in the middle. And we do have LeBron James, who has been in these 6 straight finals and sort of, you know, put in the Olympic time and all of that. I think he made comments at practice today talking about, oh, when I take a game off, now suddenly it's an NBA issue that gets a memo. I don't think that it was LeBron specifically resting on Saturday night. I think it's that everybody was out in that one game.
Right.
And then the week before, all of the Warriors were out. That confluence of those 2 weeks in a row on the national stage hurt the NBA product.
It did. And who are the fans paying to see?
Yeah.
Right.
They aren't paying to see the guys on the pine.
Right.
That's not part of it.
That's what being a star of your guys' level
So
is.
if you're going to get that star salary, you got to put in those star hours.
And we've seen that James Harden, who's one of the other MVP candidates, he had a quote this weekend where he said to the Houston Chronicle, quote, I'll rest when I'm done. I get obviously paid for it, but it's something I love. I enjoy the grind. I enjoy how hard it is. I think that makes you tougher. That's what makes you who you are. He added, he doesn't want Rockets coach Mike D'Antoni to even come with him. He said, Mike knows not to come at me with that. Don't even talk to me about resting.
That's a lunch pail attitude. That's what you have to have. James Harden just he went way up in my estimation for that statement because that's what it's about. You know,
I was already a James Harden fan because he went to ASU, the Sun Devil. So I was already a James Harden fan, but I am now, just like Cap said, James has just jumped up about 10 notches on my list because that is an old school attitude. You know, when I'm hurt, I won't play. But if I'm healthy and I can play, I'm going to go out there and play every single day.
Right. And again, though, you have to, James Harden is a different stage of his career than, say, LeBron. James still trying to win that title.
Right.
Whereas LeBron's like, hey, I've been at this rodeo before. My focus is just on June. But I want to look at your guys' Ironman record. And y'all play with AC Green as well, Ironman. I mean, percentage of games played. Y'all flew commercial on these. The whole thing, the sports science, the medical treatment.
We're not talking about that.
Not different.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
That
we're not
stuff.
talking about that.
What did you do to play? I mean, Kareem, your career longevity is such a huge part of what's the many dazzling things about your career. How did you maintain that, playing that percentage of games and not having the science, not having the private airplanes?
Took it 1 year at a time, and I understood if I wanted to play for a long time, I had to be in shape. So, you know, I took 2 weeks off.
Okay.
And then I went back to working at being in shape and working on my body and taking care of my body.
Right.
And that's the only way you can do it. And there were no other jobs out there that were better than that.
But Cap ain't telling you everything. Now, Cap was the first person I've ever seen do yoga at practice.
That's interesting.
Instead of stretching like the rest of
pioneer.
them. He was doing yoga to get ready for practice. He was the first person I ever seen do that.
And don't sell yourself short. You make a great airplane pilot. So you do other jobs.
I just need a license. That's
Exactly. It's all good. We do not rest here on the jump, not even during commercials.